start the work with 3D Max software. So as viewers, some of you may have some experience with 3D Max, or some of you may didn't. You may have seen that software, but didn't do that much of in this software. Also, there may be some people who doesn't know about 3D Max software. So 3D Max software is little bit old when compared to the Blender. So, but I am get used to it in 3D Max software. So you can do modeling, materialing, and texturing, and animation, and also. So it's, yeah. If you have the passion, you can. If passion and interest, so you can easily learn that software. So I will explain a little bit when we are working. So what I'm going to do is I will just open the software. So this is the view you will get. So I will just explain when we are actually modeling the car. So first of all, we need to create a project folder. But because when we working, we need to have some many reference images and all that. So for that, I will use file, and I will select from here project and create from current. And you will ask a place to do one. So I already created a folder called this one, and I will select this folder and select folder. If I go back to this folder, now you can see something like this. Here you can see some folder structure here. So this is mandatory, right? So when you are working, you may need some textures and images and some animations and some materials, and you may import and export something. So all things should be in this project folder. So you don't need to create this hierarchy. This hierarchy will automatically create by software. So what we are going to do is, what you have to do is project and select create from current. So now I have the structure. So in here, for scene assets and images, I will move these 5 files including the Photoshop file to this one. So it's a little bit easy to work. I did this one. Alright, so and I will, what I'm going to do is so we need to import this one into this software. So you can't just import the image. So we are going to work with this one. So what we are going to do is, we need to create a box, and we will apply these textures into the 4 shapes in this box, 4 surface on this box. So before that, we need to do some background research of that vehicle. So we need to get the dimensions of the vehicle and the tire sizes of the vehicle, length, height, and everything. So it can be in millimeters, inches, or centimeters. So let's see how we are going to do that. Alright guys, let's work together again. So in the previous one, we could create the viewports. Actually, not the viewport, the blueprints. We could cut off the blueprint into the blueprint. So today, now we are going to do assign that view images to the 3D environment. What we are going to do in 3D Max. So first we need to get the real dimension of the vehicle. before that I did some Google search, so I just found out some value something like this. So I will use this website carsguide.com.au, and you can see there are some details about the vehicle, right? So I'm interested with these details. So we can see the height, width, length, ground clearance, wheel base, weight, turning cycle, tire size, wheel size. So these are in millimeters. So what we are going to do is I just copy this one. It's not meant to copy, so it's the habit of mine. So I will just copy and I will paste it locally. So I will introduce another software for you. It's called PureF. So may some of you guys have seen this. So this is very helpful when we're creating uh, some model using references. So I will use this one, and I will, what I'm going to do is I will select this one, Control C, and I will paste here, Control V. So as you can see, you get some note from this. So I will adjust some of them something like this, so it's easy to handle. So if you don't have this software, I will put the link in the description. So we have values in millimeters, so weight we don't need, but I will keep that as it is. So turning cycle is also not need, tire size is also not needed for us. So let's have this one. I will save this as save as in the save one, right? This one, this our project folder, and scene assets and images. I will save as ref images. Alright, save. Also I will go back to the the project folder, and I will get the files we have created, these files, as you can remember. So here you have these files, right? So I also copy these files, drag that files into here. So I will put this one for that, and I will keep this and I will save this. Alright, so we have here the viewport images and here the details of them. So what I'm going to do is I will just minimize this one, and I will open 3D Studio Max. So what I am going to do is first I will save this as view config in the project folder under scenes subfolder, and save this project. Yeah, so I have also already created this one, so I'm not going to overwrite this one. So what I'm going to do is I will just create a box, a simple box. I will create something like this. You don't need to hesitate about the width, height and length. So what I'm going to do is I will select this and press F4. So now you can see the edges, right? If you press again F4, you didn't see the edges. So I will press F4 and get the edges. Also I will keep that it is, and I will resize this one. So if I select this one and go to the modify panel under tool panel, modify tab, If I select this, you can see these values: length, width and height, and other values. I am interested in these three values, so you can't see a unit here. That's because this project is using generic units, so there are no units. So what I need to do is, so here you can see we have the values in millimeters, so I will select metric system and select millimeters. It's called display unit scale, and I will press OK. So now you can see the millimeters in these values. So what I'm going to do is, I will check what is the y-axis. So as you can see, the y-axis is, if I change these values, this is where y-axis. So first you need to think how you're going to model this one. As practice, what I'm gonna do is, I put front view here, backward view here, side view here, and top view here. Therefore, in my case, the length is the width of the vehicle. So, and width is the length of the vehicle, height is the height of the vehicle. So then I will select this one and check the width. Width is around 1931 millimeters. Let's check with this another website. So I will check something like Mercedes Benz dimensions. I will select this one. If I select this one, so you can see these values. So I saw that this one have the width without mirrors, and also I think without mirrors and otherwise. So let's convert these inches into millimeters. Say 2 millimeters, and paste this inch values. It's done 1932 38. So if I move back to this one, you can see it's 931. So this one is 932. So that means this width is calculated without the mirror. As you can see, 931 without mirrors, right? So that means we need to check. So exterior dimensions, width without mirrors, and if I check with our details, so with this 1931. So what we need to do is, we need to get the exact values. So I will move back to the official website. I will search and try to get the exact values. So I can't see here. I will just no. So we need to consider this one. So that means let's something like this. If I put the image dimensions, If I select this this top view and properties and the details, you can see its dimension is in pixels 1006 to 456. So that means the ratio is 1006 divide 456. It's this one, this value, right? I will copy that and I will check that value with this one. It's 1969. 1931. So it's not the actual value. So what I need to do is I need to use this one and multiply it with this value. So it's not working. So it's for check length. Alright, so I will take the height as, so the width as 1931, and height as 1969 and length as 4873. So remember these are not the actual values, and let's say so with the height and width is the alright. So alright, I will use this one and select effect pivot only. I will select this what you call hierarchy window, hierarchy tool, and select effect pivot only and center to object. Alright, center to object. So you have the pivot point in center, and I will just deselect that one. So I will select this and center it to the grid. Alright, what I'm going to do is I will check again the values are correct or not. So height means our actual height, the height is, and width is our actual length. See, and width is the actual. Here this length is actual, this actual width means this one. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I will select this one, convert into editable poly. and I will save these two and I will delete these values. Alright, so mostly done the viewport one. So I will now I need to detach these four. For that I will select this one, and first if you see, right, so these are the inside, right, in the box inside. So these are not somewhat we can see in the box. We only see the outer surfaces. Therefore we need to visible these interior surfaces, not the outside surfaces, when we assign the viewport images. Therefore I will select this one, go to modify tab, and I will search normal modifier. Alright, so if I select this one and object properties, and I will select as this object, not the layer, and if I select the backface skull and press OK, now you can see this one is visible only the interior side, right? So I will explain why I choose something like this. Okay, then I will select this one and right click and convert to editable poly. So I will select a one surface, and I will select detach, and I will name it as view underscore. I will name this as front. I will tell later why I select this as front, view front. Okay, now it's detached, and I will select another one using the polygon selection tool. Select this one, and I will select detach, and I will name this one as view top. Also I will select this one, I will detach this one, I will say view side. Okay, we only have one here, and I will select this one, and I will center it, effect pivot only, center to object, and I will rename this one as view rear. Alright, so now we have separate four surfaces, but it's all of them are tightly aligned. So I will press G in keyboard G to disable this grid view. If you press again, it will get enabled. So I will keep it as disabled. So alright, so now we need to assign our images into these four planes, these plane shapes. Let's see how we are going to do that. We will assign our viewport images for these empty plane surfaces, right? So this one will be the selected one, this one will be the top view, this one will be the side view, this one will be the back view or rear view, this one will be the front view. For that we need to open the material editor in 3D Studio Max. So what is material editor is, it's a way of assigning. So here we can't just paint, right? So we have to assign some textures or some material. For that we can use the material editor. So by pressing M in keyboard, you can open the material editor. So material editor can have two ways, right? So for one way is compact material editor, other one is slate material editor. So slate material editor is somewhat complex, and I would say it's a professional one. So you can have nodes, you can link the textures or material whatever it is. So you can use both these one. So I will use for further is I'll just use the slit material editor. So what I will do is I will use the standard material. So just do whatever I do. I will explain it in further videos. So I will just click and drag the standard material. Alright, so I will rename this as, I double click this one and I open the properties window, and I will rename this as matte underscore let's say side view. Alright, so I will assign this to this surface. For what I need to do is just click this one and click this one in your layout, in your whatever is viewport, and just assign material to selection, or else you can just click and drag this node into the whatever it is, the surface or the object. So I will just click select here. So maybe sometimes you may not see anything here. Let's assign the texture to that. So what you're going to do is just select the diffuse color node and click and drag, and you will get these two palettes. So let's say general and bitmap. Then you would get a pop-up window which is called select bitmap image file, and it will default redirect to your scene asset images folder. So that's why we need to use this proper hierarchy, so it's easy to work, right? So I will select the side view and just open, and it is linked, right? So normally it would display in here. If not, what you are going to do is just select the material and set show shaded material in viewport. So you can see some difference is there, right? Let's zoom this one a little bit. You got the image, but there is a huge difference, right? It's a set of images. So what you have to do is click the image, double click it, and reduce these sizes. I will just increase this size, and I will set the size as it is. So if I open the PDF software, so you know the length is this value. So let's try to assign this value. What the value is 4873. Let's set the value as the width here. 4873. So I just set the value. We'll see what we got. Also I will set this. I got the length and height value 1969. So if I move back to the viewport, now you can see you only get one image, right? One tile here. So but there is a difference, right? So I told you about in earlier videos. So I would like to have the front area of the vehicle in this side and rear area of in this side, not like this, right? So I need to mirror this one. So let's check with this angle one, right? So if I show this up in here and move this one a little bit here, so let's resize this one something like this. So if I set angle in U, axis. See what is doing? It's some uh, uh, stretching, right? So it doesn't work out. If I press V, so you can see it's stretching something like this. So if I use this W1, see what is going on. So it's rotating, right? It's rotating. So if I press V, you can see it's getting some this something like this effect. If I go something like 180, that's been the mirror effect of this image. So this is the perfect one for me, and like that I will create another one. I'll show again how I import this one. So if you miss this part one, so I will do again standard material, and I will rename this as something like a matte top view, and we introduce a diffuse map, general bitmap, and I will select the top view one, and same as before I will use this one to here. So you can't see that because this need to be activated. So I activate it. So now you can see there are some tiles. So I will set the bitmap size into our size. What is the size? The length is 4873. So length is 4873. So let's see what is the length here. This is the length. So I will set 4873, and our width is 1931. So you got the view, but it need to be rotated. If I use this, you see it's working now. I will set 180. So you got the view, right? Alright, so what I'm going to do is I will keep this as it is, and I will select this one and shift and drag. When you shift and drag, you can get the copy of this one. So I will rename this one as matte front view, and I will change the image. I double click on, and I can change from the change the image here. So I will select this one, I will select front one, and I will assign this one to here. So why I am assigning for this instead of this one? So reason is this, right? So I will just view this one, so you can see it's getting cropped. So that means I need to resize this one. So height means this one, right? So height, we need to set the height as 1969, and which should be 1931. Alright, so left camera is here, top camera is here, and perspective camera is here, and the right camera is here. So if you see from the left view, so you can see the front view. So this is a blueprint. So every time when you're using a blueprint, you need to create the model in front of this view image. So that means the modifications or the model should be done before this front view, right? That's why we need to have the left view in here. So I think you can realize it. You can get the reason when we continue the model. So this is left view. So let's see again. If you need to see the other views, you can just press alt button and W button keyboard, or else you can see from here. You can see from here, right? By using this button you can see the all windows, or alt W. So let's see, I need to get rid of the grid. I will press G and I will press this one, so you can't see the image, right? So because the reason is this is on wireframe mode. So we need to get the default shading one, this one, so you can get the view from here. I will press again the G. So if I press this one and press the default shading, or you can simply use F3 button and its default shading, and I will press G again and I will select zoom extents all selected, right? All right, now our viewport is okay. So we need to check one thing again before modeling. So I will just save this one. We need to do is, let's have some shapes before. We need to check all are aligned properly. So I will select the shapes and select line. Let's create a line from here. I will draw a line from here, this edge to this edge. I just create a simply line and I will right click. Now I got the line. So I will increase the rend. I will select in the properties window, enable in viewport. So I just click W to move back into move this one. Select and move to. So I just press W. So if I move this around a little bit, so there is the issue now. So if I check again with this edge, this bending material, now it's okay. If I check this edge, let's see, now it's also okay. Let's set here, perfect. And if I use it in here, let's see. Alright, so you can check on others also. Let's check about some lights. If I create here, how it can differ from others. Also if I select something like here, so it's okay. And if I select here, so the light is okay. So that means most probabilities are okay. And let's start modeling.